America is home to some of the most vibrant, powerful, and breathtaking cities on the planet. But behind the skylines, the bright lights, and the promise of opportunity, danger lurks. Crime rates are surging in ways that are shocking experts, residents, and lawmakers alike. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most dangerous cities in America in 2025, ranked by violent crime rates per 100,000 residents. These are real numbers, real cities, and the results might hit closer to home than you think. Stay until the end, because number 1 is going to leave you speechless. Coming in at number 10, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Most people think of New Mexico as a desert paradise, stunning landscapes, rich culture, and Breaking Bad filming locations. But Albuquerque has a far darker story to tell. With a violent crime rate of approximately 1,369 per 100,000 residents, this city has consistently ranked among the most dangerous in the nation. Auto theft here is off the charts. Albuquerque has held the title of the car theft capital of America multiple times in recent years. Poverty, a struggling economy, and a methamphetamine crisis have fueled a cycle of crime that local authorities have been fighting for decades. Despite increased police efforts, residents still feel the pressure every single day. Coming in at number 9, Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas might not be the first state that comes to mind when you think of danger. But Little Rock tells a very different story. The state capital sits with a violent crime rate pushing 1,634 per 100,000 people. That means you are far more likely to become a victim of violent crime here than in cities like Chicago or Los Angeles that dominate national headlines. Gang activity, drug trafficking, and economic inequality have created deep fractures in this community. Local law enforcement has called for more resources for years, but progress has been painfully slow. Little Rock is a city fighting for its soul. Coming in at number 8, Anchorage, Alaska. This one surprises almost everyone. Alaska, remote, vast, and stunning, doesn't sound like a hotbed of crime. But Anchorage defies every expectation. With a violent crime rate of around 1,203 per 100,000 residents, the city struggles with issues that are uniquely Alaskan in scale. Extreme geographic isolation makes law enforcement response slower. Alcohol abuse rates are among the highest in the nation, and a significant homeless population, combined with brutal winters, creates conditions where desperation drives crime upward year after year. Anchorage is beautiful, but it is not safe. Coming in at number 7, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore has been synonymous with danger for decades, and in 2025, nothing has changed. Once a proud industrial powerhouse on the Chesapeake Bay, Baltimore now records a homicide rate that rivals war zones. With over 300 murders per year in a city of less than 600,000 people, the per capita murder rate here is staggering. Its violent crime rate sits near 2,000 per 100,000 residents. Entire neighborhoods have been hollowed out by poverty, addiction, and decades of disinvestment. The HBO series The Wire painted a grim picture of Baltimore in the early 2000s. 2 decades later, the reality on the streets hasn't gotten much better. Coming in at number 6, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is famous for its barbecue, its jazz heritage, and its passionate sports fans. But there is a side of this city that tourists never see. Kansas City's violent crime rate hovers around 2,000 per 100,000 residents, making it one of the deadliest cities pound for pound in the entire United States. The homicide rate here has exploded in recent years, with 2023 and 2024 both recording numbers that shocked even veteran law enforcement officials. Drive-by shootings, gang warfare, and a deeply underfunded police department have left entire communities in fear. Kansas City is a tale of 2 cities, and the dangerous side is winning. We've covered numbers 10 through 6, and things are already alarming. But the cities still to come? They are on a completely different level. We're entering the top 5 most dangerous cities in America in 2025. Buckle up. Coming in at number 5, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, the home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll, the city that gave the world Graceland and the legacy of Elvis Presley. But in 2025, Memphis carries another, far more troubling distinction. It consistently ranks as one of the top 3 most violent cities in America by multiple independent metrics. With a violent crime rate surpassing 2,600 per 100,000 residents, your odds of becoming a crime victim in Memphis are shockingly high. In some zip codes, the situation is nothing short of a crisis. Carjackings have spiked dramatically. Homicides have remained at devastating levels, and a deeply strained relationship between residents and law enforcement makes progress difficult. Memphis deserves better. Its people deserve better. Coming in at number 4, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, a name that carries the weight of American history. The rise of the automobile industry, Motown music, the American dream built on assembly lines, and then the fall. Detroit's population has collapsed from nearly 2 million people in its peak to under 650,000 today. Abandoned buildings stretch for miles, and the violent crime rate, sitting at approximately 2,057 per 100,000 residents, reflects a city that has never fully recovered from economic devastation. While Detroit has seen genuine revitalization efforts downtown, entire neighborhoods on the outskirts remain deeply dangerous. The contrast between the shiny new Detroit and the forgotten Detroit is as stark as it gets anywhere in America. Coming in at number 3, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, the gateway to the West, and year after year the gateway to one of the most alarming crime statistics in the developed world. St. Louis has recorded a per capita murder rate that places it among the most dangerous cities not just in the United States, but on the entire planet. Its violent crime rate consistently exceeds 2,000 per 100,000 residents. In some neighborhoods, the homicide rate rivals cities in Central America that are actively experiencing gang wars. What makes St. Louis particularly tragic is the extreme geographic divide. A prosperous county surrounds a deeply struggling city, and the resources simply do not flow where they are needed most. St. Louis is a city crying out for help. Coming in at number 2, Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson is a city in crisis, and most of America has no idea. The capital of Mississippi, a state already struggling with poverty and lack of investment, Jackson has a violent crime rate that breaks records year after year. At over 2,700 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, it is statistically one of the most dangerous places to live anywhere in the United States. But crime is only part of the story. Jackson's water infrastructure collapsed in 2022, leaving hundreds of thousands without clean running water for months. Economic abandonment has gutted neighborhoods. The middle class has fled, and the city government has struggled to respond at every turn. Jackson is not just a dangerous city, it is a city that has been forgotten by the rest of the country, and the number 1 most dangerous city in America in 2025, Monroe, Louisiana. You were probably expecting a name you already knew. Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. But the data tells a completely different story. Monroe, Louisiana, a small city of fewer than 45,000 people in the northern part of the state, has recorded violent crime rates that are almost impossible to comprehend, surpassing 5,000 violent crimes per 100,000 residents in recent reporting periods. Monroe's per capita rate of violence is not just the highest in America, it is among the highest ever recorded for any city in the nation's history. Concentrated poverty, collapsed social services, a decimated local economy, and geographic isolation have created a perfect storm of danger. Monroe is not on the national radar. It is not on the evening news. But for the people who live there, the danger is as real as it gets. This is the most dangerous city in America, and it deserves our attention. These 10 cities represent real communities, places where millions of Americans wake up every single day and navigate challenges that most of us will never fully understand. The statistics are alarming, but behind every number is a human being. The causes of crime, poverty, lack of opportunity, failing infrastructure, systemic neglect are complex, and the solutions will require all of us to pay attention. Which city on this list surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. We read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more in-depth countdowns covering the stories that matter across America. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. We'll see you in the next one.